For NA revision, chapter 2, arc length sector area in degrees. Now let's take a look at the following question over here. This figure shows the cross section. So it's a cross section. So it's not just a flat drum, it's a full physical cylindrical oil drum. There's some thickness behind it. But we're just looking at the cross section. The cross section of this this oil drum is actually a circle. Right, as you can see, the radius of the oil drum is 60 cm. So we know that this is the radius over here, 60 cm. P and Q are positions on the cross section just above the water surface. So it's going to be a horizontal straight line. And a point A over here, this point A is 10 cm above the water surface. Now, what are the information that we can process from this diagram itself? First thing that we need to know, we need to identify something so special about the radius. If this is the radius, this is also my radius, 60 cm, and therefore from the center to the point on the circumference, this whole measurement here is also 60 cm. Given that I know this point A is 10 cm above the water surface, that is actually telling me from this point over here to O, let's call this point maybe X. All right, and this point over here to X, the whole thing here is 10. Okay, and the whole radius is 60. That means this portion over here is 50 cm. And from here we can see this is a horizontal flat line, and you have an isosceles triangle POQ. It will cut it into two halves, forming a right angle triangle. Alright, now question first one, it says show that the angle POQ is 67.1 degrees correct to one decimal place. Now for this kind of question, it's trying to tell you the answer is so, not asking you to substitute in values to verify the answer. It's telling you to do your normal working, find what is the angle POQ and make sure your answer is this number. In case that you are not able to get this answer, you can still use the value in the question that's given to you to work out the other portions of the triangle, of this question. Do not leave blank. Alright, so now let's take a look at this triangle over here. We have 90 degrees over here. I call this X. And this should be 60. This is 50. In order to find this angle, let's call it XOQ. So I shall use the Chwakasu angle. This is my angle. So this is always the hypotenuse. Sorry. This is not the hypotenuse. This is my 90-degree angle. This is always my hypotenuse. This is the angle that I want to find. This is the opposite. This will be the adjacent. So I got A and H. So cosine. Cosine of the angle XOQ. Adjacent over hypotenuse CAH, 50 over 60. So the angle XOQ will be cosine inverse 50 over 60. Now everything is not stated to be radian, so we just happily use our degree mode. Right, cosine inverse 50 over 60. And I get my answer to be equals to 33.557. Right, taking this answer for angle POQ, I shall take this answer to multiply by 2. Okay, 33.557 times 2. That will give me the number to be 67.114 degrees, or rounded off to one decimal place, 67.1 degree, 1 dp shown. Alright, so this is how we can use the angle. So now I know that the angle over here is 67.114. I shall redraw my diagram to tell me. And I want to find the next question. They say arc length, arc length. So arc length means involve 2 pi r, right? And I want PAQ. So PA to Q is actually this arc over here, PAQ. and we know the angle over here, and O we find is 67.114 degrees. I always use the more accurate answer in my working. So arc length, how do we find arc length? What's the formula for arc length? The theta, so this one says is PAQ, the smaller one, the minor sector. So I just use the angle 67.114 degrees over 360 times 2 pi r. Radius was given to be 60 cm. Remember to round off your answer to 3 significant figures for length. I found my answer to be 70.2816, so round it off. 70.3, let me take a look at what's the units. cm. 3 significant figures. Have you gotten your answer? Next part, find the area of the cross section of the oil drum that is submerged in water. Where is this portion of the whole thing that is submerged in water? The portion that is submerged in water is the whole oil drum is this portion over here. Oops. Okay, so this is the portion over here that is already submerged in water. Now what is this shape this made up of? This whole shape is actually the major sector. This major sector, or I call it the Pac-Man, plus the triangle. Ask the Pac-Man to shut up, right? So we must put something in the mouth to ask the Pac-Man to shut up. So this is actually the area of the major segment, major sector, plus the triangle. But now I know that this angle over here is 67.114. Is this the angle that I will need to use? Right? If I want to find the major sector, that means first step I need to find this full angle first, isn't it? So this angle is 360 degrees minus 67.114 degrees, which gives me 67.114. I got 292.886 degrees. So I have to use the major sector, the major angle. Okay. So in this case, to find the area of the whole portion that's being submerged in water, I need to find the major one. So this is 292.886 plus the area of the triangle over here, where we know this is 60, and the angle over here is 67.114 degrees. Right? So finding the area of the cross section that is submerged in water, area of the major segment, that theta, over 360 times area, I'm talking about area involved, pi r squared. Okay, and I need to add the area of the triangle. This one should be able to do half AB sine C. Right, and keying everything together, let us work out the total final answer. Alright, so all these angle over here are supposed to be in degree mode, and for me I got my answer to be 11048.12345 already. So I'll round it up to 3 significant figure, 1 2 3, the third one, so this one we round down, so it's 11012, 2 zeros for the place value, cm square 3sm. Have you gotten your answer? I'll see you for the next lesson. Goodbye.